And it's not just Cruz and Rubio going after Trump with a vengeance. As noted, now Governor Mitt Romney has jumped into the fight. The 2012 GOP nominee coming out swinging against Donald Trump. Governor Romney in a scathing, skin-blistering speech warning Americans that Trump is not fit to run the country. And in true Trump fashion, Donald Trump wasting no time to strike back.
If we Republicans choose Donald Trump as our nominee, the prospects for a safe and prosperous future are greatly diminished. Let me explain why I say that. First, on the economy. If Donald Trump's plans were ever implemented, the country would sink into prolonged recession.
Mitt is a failed candidate. He failed. He failed horribly. The third debate, he failed badly. That was a race, I have to say, folks, that should have been won. I am not a fan of Barack Obama, and that was a race that I backed Mitt Romney. I backed him. You can see how loyal he is. He was begging for my endorsement. I could have said, Mitt, drop to your knees. He would have dropped to his knees. He was begging. Yeah.
But you say, wait. Isn't he a huge business success? Doesn't he know what he's talking about? No, he isn't. And no, he doesn't.
His wife, who was a lovely woman, by the way, a really lovely woman, she came up. We had a fundraiser in my apartment at Trump Tower. And it was so oversubscribed. I did a great job. They couldn't have cared less about him. In fact, a lot of them said, Donald, he's a stiff. He's not going to win. I said, oh, he'll be fine. He's a stiff. I should have listened to the guy.
His bankruptcies have crushed small businesses and the men and women who work for them. He inherited his business. He didn't create it. And whatever happened to Trump Airlines? How about Trump University? And then there's Trump Magazine and Trump Vodka and Trump Steaks and Trump Mortgage. A business genius, he is not.
They don't want to talk about 92-story buildings all over the place. They don't want to talk about the Bank of America building in San Francisco, 1290 Avenue of the Americas. They don't want to talk about the West Side Railroad Yards, where I built a city on the west side of Manhattan, a tremendous city on the west side of Manhattan. They don't want to talk about 40 Wall Street and all the buildings. They want to talk about water, which I still have. I supply all my clubs. I have a water company. They want to talk about a magazine, and I have a magazine that goes to all my clubs.
Now, Donald Trump tells us that he is very, very smart. I'm afraid that when it comes to foreign policy, he is very, very not smart.
I always, you know, when you help somebody, he asked me to make robocalls. I made 6 robocalls for him. Every single place I made the robocall, he won. North Carolina, there were 6 different places. So you help somebody, and then he turns.
Dishonesty is Donald Trump's hallmark. He claimed that he had spoken clearly and boldly against going into Iraq. Wrong. He spoke in favor of invading Iraq.
Now, I will say this. He probably had a right to turn, because nobody could have been nastier than me in getting him not to run by saying he's a choke artist. And I will say the reason I did that, he was going to run. I love our country too much. If he would have run, and even if he would have won, it would have been bad. He doesn't have what it takes to be president. That I can tell you.
Here's what I know. Donald Trump is a phony, a fraud. His promises are as worthless as a degree from Trump University.
They call it Trump University, Trump Initiative. But I will tell you, just so you understand on the school had 98% approval rating.
He's playing the members of the American public for suckers. He gets a free ride to the White House, and all we get is a lousy hat.
2012 GOP presidential candidate Mr. Herman Cain goes on the record. Good evening, sir. And why do you think Governor Romney came out there today and said those things?
This is so out of character for Mitt Romney. It is so not Mitt. I happen to believe that he was trying to do a Hail Mary pass on behalf of Marco Rubio, because many of these insults and accusations of Donald Trump came from the Marco Rubio talking points. I am convinced, because I've seen a pattern. Secondly, 6 months ago, many of the establishment Republicans and conservatives, they didn't take Donald Trump seriously, and they thought he would flame out. Well, he didn't flame out. Now they are desperate. They thought he was going to flame out on Super Tuesday. when he picked up 7 states, and he didn't. So now this is a desperate attempt on the part of the establishment, and that includes establishment Republicans, establishment conservatives, the so-called pure conservatives. They are all trying to bring down Trump. This is a Hail Mary pass, and Mitt Romney has set himself up to be the poster guy for the establishment going against the will of the people.
Well, you know, it's sort of interesting because Donald Trump, I mean, I guess so far has played by the rules. I mean, he's participated in all the contests and gone to the debates he's supposed to do anything. And you even have William Christo, who was the Weekly Standard editor, a conservative magazine, saying that he would put forward an independent Republican ticket. So now the sort of the third party is coming out of the people who lost or who are seen to be losing within the Republican Party. Now they're talking about doing the independent or third party.
Bill Kristol, I know, and I'm disappointed in him and all of the others. All of these establishment folk, they believe that they are king makers. No, they are not. The American people are speaking. They are saying, many of them, that we want Donald Trump. And what upsets me the most, Greta, is the fact that the people are saying one thing, huge turnouts, a record number of primaries being won by Donald Trump. But yet these establishment folk are saying, well, we want to select the candidate, not let the election play out like Mike Huckabee talked about yesterday. This is why I'm on the side of let the people speak, let the people vote. Well, that's the way it was intended to be.
Well, you know, the people are speaking. You should see my emails. People are offended. They talk about the arrogance of people in the Republican parties telling them that their vote is a stupid vote or a bad vote or whatever. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if this backfired, because most people out there who voted for Trump so far in the 10 states or whatever we've had so far, I mean, they believed him, and now they're being insulted by the people in the Republican Party who don't like their choice.
Greta, I didn't get one phone call today on my radio show. And I got a lot of phone calls. They were all about Trump, 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 Trump. Nobody called up and said that they were going to go with the establishment. They all were disgusted with the establishment led by Mitt Romney with this anti-Trump campaign. And I believe, as you believe, it could potentially backfire in a big way.
Mr. Herman Cain, thank you, sir, for joining us.
Anytime, Greta.